So full disclosure, this is gonna be one of those episodes where you watch me do something and you're like, I don't know if that's such a good idea. And I'm gonna say right off the gate, I'm with you. This is probably a bad idea and it's probably gonna end with some failed hardware, but you know, you never know until you try. Again, this is me doing it, so in case you were thinking about it, you can find out what actually happens without actually risking any of your stuff. But here's the idea. For the longest time, I've always used AIOs. And then I always wanted to get into custom water cooling because it looks awesome and you get good performance. But I didn't really bring myself to buy like an EK 240 kit like this one because it's just a little expensive. I mean, but when you're getting into water cooling, you don't have anything, and it's a good way to get everything you need: pump, block, radiator fans, all the good stuff. But the price tag always is one thing that kept me away from doing it. Well then, you know, we all know the site wish.com. It's kind of a meme. You buy a graphics card from it, you find out you got something completely different, and we all kind of expect it. But then I got to thinking, you know, is that just graphics card, or is it pretty much anything you buy from that site just hot garbage? So I bought stuff. The idea here was to buy the things you would get in a Performance 240 kit, but from China, and see if it works. And you might notice my computer's off. Well, that's because, yeah, I could get all this stuff, put it on my test bench, say, hey, look, cool stuff, it works, it's a good buy. But I don't think that really teaches us anything. I think we need to put it in a real system and use it like you would a real kit and find out if it survives. Best case scenario, it works great. It's a cheap option, probably nothing over the top, but it probably will work. Worst case scenario, it fails and bricks everything. But hey, you never know till you try. So here it is. And I've opened some of it. One, because if you buy anything on Wish, it's not like Amazon. You won't get it here tomorrow. It takes quite a bit of time, and I actually forgot that I ordered this until it started showing up. I was like, what is this? And I opened it up, I was like, oh, that's that. And the rest of it's here, and I didn't want to open it because I wanted you guys to see the packaging. This came all the way from China, and this is exactly how I got it. It's in a bag. This, for example, is the pump reservoir combo. And it's not in like a fancy, I'm gonna ship across the ocean bag. It's like a Foot Locker bag. They just threw it in there all willy-nilly and said, best of luck, over to America you go. The block came in a little bit better. It's got some bubble wrap. I never opened the radiator. And now that I'm sitting here, it's probably a better idea if I would have opened this beforehand and looked at it, because if it's broken, it's gonna be the world's quickest video. So why don't you come on over? We'll take a look at what we got. We'll put it in my system and see if it works. Okay, I think it's best off if we start with this pump reservoir because it's already kind of open and it might be broken because it's probably the worst packed out of all this stuff. So I don't know what that is. Looks like some sort of clamp situation. And okay, it's a bag within a bag. We got that now. Jesus. I don't know if there's like, you know, we don't have any bubble wrap, but if we wrap it tight enough and shrink wrap, at least if it breaks, we'll get all the pieces. There it is. Nothing looks cracked. That's good. Can I unscrew it? Yeah, okay. It's got, I mean, it seems decent. I mean, it doesn't blow my mind or anything. There's no RGBs, which is also a bummer, but I mean, here's it next to the D5. Reservoir seems to be close. Pump is definitely a lot smaller, like a whole bunch more, but who knows? It might still work great. You never know. Let's talk about this GPU pump. So the bag's open, but I didn't take anything out yet. Spoiler alert, this does have RGBs, so it did cost a bit more than what you could probably find on there, but you can't put a price on RGB, let's be honest. Comes with fittings. It's good. Bag of little hardware. Looks like a power cord for the RGBs, yeah. Back plates. A manual. I will say that this doesn't come with a manual, so it's best of luck. And if you look on like any of the wish.com sites, when you go to like specification or features, they're not very descriptive. I'll say that. The acrylic doesn't look bad, I'll say that, but there's a definite weight difference. Yes, this has a bracket on it, but the EK block is a little bit better made, but let's not knock it till we try it. It does have RGBs. It could be great. And last but not least, our 240 radiator. And this was quite cheap. I don't even know if this comes with fittings, but I guess I got some fittings if we don't. This thing did not break the bank, that's for sure. Again, the box took considerable damage. I got some screws, a very light of light coating of bubble wrap. Some fin damage, but all in all, not too bad. Very light, guaranteed to be, yeah, this is probably all aluminum, and I'm assuming that this block is copper. I guess it is coated with nickel, so it should be better, but we'll have to put some anti-corrosive stuff in our water to try to keep things alive, but nothing, yeah, no fittings. I do have some, so that'll be all right. But yeah, it's a little bit smaller, to say the least. Thinner as well. But hey, size can't be everything, right? Okay, so I got everything hooked up for a leak test. The tubing is just long, untrimmed yet, but just putting this together did not instill confidence. First thing I changed is the fittings, especially the ones on the pump. I don't even know what size they are. They're not for a standard tube, I'll tell you that. They're very small. The water block came with those nice angles, but no fittings, and the radiator, no fittings. I do have some barb fittings, but I figured why risk it any more than I already am. So I took the EK compression fittings off my other system, put them on these, so at least I have that going for me. For tubing, I assume that anybody that buys this kind of water cooling stuff's not gonna splurge for some expensive water cooling tubing, so this is just some standard stuff you get on Amazon, which might also be a bad idea. But anyway, we got it all hooked together. I'm gonna get ready to fill it up, see if it even holds water just as is, and then we'll talk about putting it in my computer. Rest in peace. So sit rep, I got everything running. Surprisingly, it's not leaking right now. The pump I had the most faith in, because it at least looks like there was like some effort and put into this design. The pump I was on the fence for, because this thing is, I don't think they get much cheaper than this pump, but it's running. There's no speed control, it's just on or off, but it is moving water through the radiator and through the block, and nothing's leaking. I think I'm gonna let it run like this for a day or two just to see if it can run for at least a couple days straight. If so, then we're gonna figure out how to mount it in my PC. It might be a challenge because these are like, this is like the mounting bracket for the pump. It's like 2 of these clips. No screws, no nothing, just some plastic clips and good intentions, I guess. I don't know how I'm gonna get this into there. I might have to print a mount or something, but we'll figure that out. I'll be back with you in a little bit. And we're back, and it's actually been a few days and everything is still running, fingers crossed. So I think it's time we talk about the parts I used, the whole experience, and if there's anything about this system that I got on wish.com that was actually worth anything. Now again, the whole idea behind this undertaking was to try to mimic the custom water cooling experience you'll get if you purchase something like an EK kit. Before I got an EK kit, I always wanted to get into custom water cooling for both the performance, obviously, but I just think it looks cool. However, an EK kit, especially the Performance 240 that I have, retails for like $406.99, and that's a bit pricey for a noob like myself that wants to get into custom water cooling, especially if you do something wrong and it can kind of brick your entire system. It's kind of hard to pull the trigger. But when I got the EK kit, that wasn't the case. The whole, as a noob sauce, the whole experience was actually pretty much straightforward. I mean, things went together easy, the experience was quick. I had the whole thing up and running on the loop in no time, and if you've been considering getting the custom water cooling, I would recommend doing that, getting an EK kit rather than going this route with the wish.com. But, for more than one reason, I'm supposed to say that the wish.com route wasn't as straightforward. Let's start with the CPU block. The block that comes with the EK kit is the Supremacy Evo that will run you, if you buy it by itself, for $84.99. The block that I chose to get on wish.com was the Alias C5. I don't even know if I said that right, but this word, C5, and it ran me 36 bucks. And yes, I know that there are blocks on wish.com that are cheaper, but it seems, well, it doesn't even seem. The cheaper you go in water blocks, the higher the sketchiness factor goes up. So I figured that if I was gonna risk anything, I didn't want it to be my CPU block. So I chose the C5. And the C5 looked like it had some thought put into it. The design was decent, and it came with RGB, and one doesn't simply put a price on RGB. Installing the block wasn't too bad. The directions were a little goofy. One issue I had was installing like the brackets that go into the mounting block. The directions said to install it with the Intel word facing up, but then they proceeded to send me brackets that didn't have any lettering at all. I mean, so I kind of had to guess which orientation was the correct one. Ugh. And also the backplate, it didn't have like there's nothing saying go, this way or this way, so it's kind of just like whatever, both worked, I guess. But most annoyingly was that this block came with 90-degree fittings, which is great, but those fittings didn't come with barbs or compression fittings, so there's really no way to connect your water cooling hoses to them. So you had to buy fittings later, I guess, is their thought process. So after I got all that sorted out, I installed the block and fired the system up and was greeted with idle temperatures that were 75 to 80 degrees. Not ideal. And then as soon as like even the slightest load was applied to the CPU, the whole system, like this fancy gaming computer, instantly turned into a MacBook and throttled into oblivion. So we weren't off to a good start. After removing and reseating the block a few times, I think it took like 3, I was finally able to get good contact between the block and my IHS, and the temperatures dropped into a more reasonable range. So next up was trying to find a stand-in for the EK Coolstream PE240 radiator, which on its own cost about $74.99. What I ended up getting was just some run-of-the-mill 240mm radiator that cost 15 bucks. However, there's a couple issues with this rad. One being that it comes with no fittings, kind of like a trend that I'm noticing. And also, yes, it's an all aluminum radiator, which is why it's cheap, but not a good pick. So being that my block is copper and my radiator is aluminum and
galvanic corrosion
is a thing, this setup's really not a good long-term solution, to say the least. And even with anti-corrosion additives, over time, galvanic corrosion cannot be avoided. So I wouldn't do what I just did. Last but not least was finding something to take the place of the EK D5 pump reservoir combo. And the one that I have, the 140 Revo D5, isn't really cheap. It comes in at like $169.99. Because of this, I knew that this was my greatest opportunity to save a bunch of money, which I immediately regretted, like almost as soon as I opened the box. What I got from Wish was a cooling water cooler pump tank heat exchanger, and I swear to God that's the actual name. And for a cool 22 bucks, it wasn't really expensive, and that's all it had really going for it. In this thing's defense, it did come with fittings, fittings that I took off because they're goofy, weird sizes, and threw them away almost immediately, but hey, it did come with fittings. Also, despite its appearance, it didn't leak, so that was also a good thing. Other than that though, this thing was nothing special. It was not PWM, which I'm sure is not a surprise. And when the pump was on, good flow wouldn't really be a term that came to mind. Also, the brackets that came with this pump were pretty much useless. I don't even know what they're for. I mean, they clipped onto the tank, but unless you're just gonna lay it on its side, I don't know what they're doing. Now, this wasn't a huge deal, considering I have that 3D printer, so I had to design and 3D print some out, which is more of an inconvenience than anything, but if you didn't have a 3D printer, that would be a bummer. Other than those things, I purchased 10 foot of clear tubing off Amazon for $7.50, and then I bought some fittings for $14.99 or $15 bucks, which I actually never even used. I just stole the ones off my EK kit, so I had to buy that, I guess. And then I forego buying any fans because I thought, you know, if you're gonna do something like this and you wanna save money, I assume that you already have case fans, so you can just repurpose those. And that's kind of what I did. I just used the front fans that I already had in my case and used those to push air through my radiator. So in all, this wish.com setup that I'm running right behind us right now Cost me about $95.50, and that's obviously before shipping. But what kind of cooling does a $100 bill get you? Well, let me tell you. Well, spoiler, it doesn't get you EK performance, which I'm sure is not a shocker to you, but it does keep things from throttling. So on my i7-7700k at 4.7 gigahertz, idle temperatures were sitting around 49 degrees. And after 25 minutes of IDA64, the average package temperatures were sitting at a toasty 86.5. And then I also did see a max at one point of 98 degrees, but we didn't throttle. We got a little hot, but we didn't throttle. But performance during gaming, so I played some Overwatch in the mid, just to see how it did in game, and we were sitting around 68 to 70, which is, again, not cool, but very, very much within spec and perfectly fine. And in case you were wondering, in comparison to the EK kit, I was running that on my 7700K at 5 gigahertz in the S340 Elite, which is a much more restrictive case, and I was seeing temps in the low 80s under high loads, and then gaming about 58, 63. So I was able to run the EK kit at a faster overclock and in a worse flow optimized case and still got better temperatures, but $100, not too bad. So yeah, it's not as good, but it does work and it's under $100. And honestly, I think the biggest problem in this whole entire setup is the pump. It's quite literally a dumpster fire. I was actually quite surprised at how well the block looks. I mean, it looks good and it looks like the build quality is actually pretty darn good considering the price. And I really think that this block, if I put it on like the EK loop, would actually do quite well. So let me know if that's something you guys want to see. Should I take it out, put the EK system back together, and then swap the blocks and see how the temperatures are? Because it might actually do not too bad, and it doesn't look too bad. So let me know in the comments down below. So after all this, do I think that doing this is worth it? No, not even one bit. For one, yeah, you can get a custom water cooling loop for under $100, but given the performance, it's just simply not worth it. And then you throw in the risk, like why would you do this? For that price, you get yourself like a high-end air cooler, like a massive D15, an NH-U12A, which is even cheaper, and you still get probably better temperatures than this without the risk of dousing your whole PC with water and then being sad. Second, this whole deal back here is stressful. You can hear it bubbling and making noise, and I'm thinking it's breaking. And every time I turn my PC off, I also kill my power supply just to make sure that if anything leaks overnight, it's not gonna murder everything. I even find myself checking the loop in between games of Overwatch. Like we'll be waiting for the next game to start and I'll be like peeking in the case, just making sure that nothing's leaking, because it's almost like I expect it to fail and I'm just hoping that I can catch it soon enough that I can shut the whole system down before everything dies. Lastly, Wish.com. If you've never ordered anything from Wish, let me tell you, it takes a long time to come. I ordered this stuff all on the same day and it took like 3 to 4 weeks for it to show up. And even though I ordered on the same day, it all kind of showed up at different times in different packagings, and they weren't good packaging if you remember the beginning of the video. Luckily nothing was damaged, but I mean it came from China in like a bag, so damage is probably more common than not. So in closing, if custom water cooling is something that you want to do, just save the money to get the parts, get good parts from reputable brands that have good reviews, and it just doesn't make sense to take the risks of breaking thousands of dollars in some situations of PC hardware just to save a few $100 on a water cooling loop. Just save the money at the beginning, buy a better loop, or just get an air cooler. I mean, they work great, and a lot of them are not that loud. But if you're convinced that you want custom water cooling, save your money, get a good system, and you'll be much better off. But let me know what you think. Do you have a different opinion? Do you have any other cooling brands you would recommend? What are your thoughts on these parts? And until the next time, peace.